Memorial Day. Kyle will stop at the post office on our way into town. Did you put on sunblock? Grandma asked. Yes, Grandma, I did. He answered. It was only 10 o'clock, but the sun felt hot on his back. It was the last Saturday in May, and Kyle was ready for summer. His grandparents' small town was so different from the city. Kyle loved the old buildings here, but he he was glad when his parents told him he would be spending the long Memorial Day holiday weekend here with his grandmother. The short walk to the post office took longer than Kyle had expected. It seemed like everyone in this town knew each other. You couldn't walk past someone without saying hello or swapping news. See you at the parade. People said with a friendly wave. This this was the first Kyle had about a heard about a parade. What parade? He asked Grandma. The Memorial Day parade. Of course, this is Memorial Day weekend, she said. Kyle knew this 3-day weekend was special. The town pool opened this weekend, but he didn't know there would be a parade. You have a parade for the beginning of summer? Not exactly, said Grandma as she dropped a few letters in the mailbox. Haven't you ever been to a Memorial Day parade? She asked. Kyle shook his head. There were many parades in the big city where he lived with his parents, but he never went to them. His parents usually worked on holidays. He saw a Thanksgiving Day parade on television once. He hoped there would be big balloons at his parade, too. Maybe he would meet other kids there. Memorial Day means more than the start of summer fun. Grandma explained it's a time to remember. She stopped without finishing their sentence. Come, I'll show you. We'll go to the cemetery. Grandma, Grandma turned and walked briskly in the opposite direction. We're going where? Kyle asked. Quicken, quicken his pace to keep up with his grandmother. Kyle had never set foot in a cemetery before. He imagined a creepy place, but the town cemetery wasn't at all creepy. Kyle thought it was actually very nice, especially with all the flowers and flags. As they walked, Kyle noticed that other people were there. He saw young families standing by headstones and women his grandmother's age. He saw a soldier in uniform. Then he saw a troop of Scouts had gathered at the far end of the cemetery. What are they doing? He asked Grandma. Then he realized that they were the ones putting out the flags. The flags mark the graves of those who served in all branches of our armed forces, explained Grandma. It's part of our Memorial Day tradition of to honor soldiers buried here, to remember them. Kyle remembered his teacher talking without the Revolutionary War. That was a long time ago. He knew that the United States had fought many wars since then. Was there always a Memorial Day? He asked Grandma. At first, it was called Decoration Day. Decoration can mean a medal of or a word to honor bravery in battle, Grandma continued, then had stopped in front of a grave with a flag next to it, and Kyle read the inscription. This soldier was only 19 years old. Grandma, that's my cousin Ken H. Kyle suddenly felt sad. His grandmother noticed. His mood changed. Yes, it can be a solemn occasion for many people, she said. As they walked back to the house, Grandma told him that many countries have different days set aside to honor lost soldiers. In England, it's called Poppy Day. Grandma explained poppies are red flowers that became a symbol for Memorial Day there. Back at the house, Kyle used the internet to discover more about Memorial Day. He read General John A. Logan's Memorial Day order made in 1868, 3 years after the end of the Civil War. That this were the official beginning of the Memorial Day tradition in America. It became a federal holiday in 1971. By the morning of the parade, Kyle felt like a Memorial Day expert. Did you know they have a Memorial Day in Australia too? Kyle said this Kyle said as he dug into the pancakes his grandmother had made for breakfast. There is called Anzac Day. Anzac stands for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. He explained. Kyle and his grandmother had found a shady spot to watch the parade. You can watch the parade with me, or you can ride on that old fire truck and be in it. His grandmother said, "Wow, thanks, Grandma." Kyle said as he ran toward the truck. Kyle knew this was a solemn occasion, but parades were for fun too.